time, and I am not gonna deny, oh man, it feels good to be back here on my channel. Wanted to do a bit of Q&A and also wanted to talk about my newest song, my comeback song that I got to do with my dear friend and my soul brother, Thomas Leonard, aka Raptor. Whoo! This song was definitely something else. It was something that I never expected in my 25 years as an amateur artist that I would be ranking up to that kind of caliber. I've been looking back, while I was away from this channel, because I'll be honest, I'm not just a fan. I'm not just a simple, amateur producer, composer, songwriter, and singer. I'm a fan of the work. I'm a fan of music. I am a consumer just as well. And I decided that I wanted to trace back into some of the songs I did back in the day when I started making music with the DAW GarageBand. And that was the first music software that I had. And let me tell you, those days were fun. Those days were amazing. I still got all of the songs. Not a single one has been deleted. And thank God. I mean, I had GarageBand on my iPad as well, back when the iPad actually, worked. But the iPad reached the point that it would no longer update, so it was already obsolete. So at that point, I couldn't update any of the applications. I couldn't do a darn thing because it was just old. It was like Age of the Dinosaurs old. That's the kind of old we're talking. And I spent time kind of rotating back and forth. Like when I first started using GarageBand, I started on my iPad, and from that point on, actually, I was introduced to GarageBand literally by another soul brother of mine by the name of Danny Jackson, who goes by the name of H Streets in the musical world. And here on YouTube, he goes by not just H Streets, he goes by H Streets Gaming. He has a gaming channel, which is absolutely amazing, and it is definitely something that I can say is great. Hold on a second, y'all. Hold the phone, y'all. I'll be right back. My apologies about that, you guys. How's it going there, buddy? It's good to see ya. Mackenzie, good to see ya. Thanks for joining in. Greatly appreciated. Hope everybody's having a wonderful day wherever you're, a wonderful evening, day, or afternoon, whatever the case may be. Just here doing a bit of Q&A and catching up to speed with you guys because it's been forever since I've been in my current channel. So I figured that I would, disclose why I haven't been around for so long. And of course, talk about the new song that just was launched today with my dear friend and soul brother, Raptor. The song is under the name of Elusive Flames, which is the name of our group, the name of our duet. And you could check it out right here on this channel right now. So if you would like to listen to the song, it's right here on this channel. You could always come back to the live video and, give a listen to the song before we start talking about it. So if you feel encouraged on giving my music a shot, if you desire to do so, it would greatly be appreciated. If not, it's okay. I'm just, throwing it out there. Just a bit of a shameless plug. Alonzo, good to see you there. If I appear that I'm getting really, really close to the camera, just a BSA, I happen to be visually impaired. As you guys can see, I've been living with albinism for over 28 years of my life. So visual, the sight problem comes with the albinism as well. So yeah, just figured to throw it out there that if you see me coming in a little close and it does make you feel a little awkward, it's not that I want to do that. It's just I need to get close to see. Because a little bit of, giving you guys what kind of eye condition do I have. I struggle with myopia, which is basically you have to get very, very close. Otherwise, a lot of the details are not going to register. Like a lot of people that have 20/20 or less see a lot better than somebody with a higher vision rank. If your vision rank happens to be higher, like for example, me, my vision rank is 2200. So I have way less vision than the average human being. So you're always going to see me like this, like reading the comments. Sometimes I have my magnifier handy, but I don't even know where I put it. So ain't that something? I should be keeping tabs on these things and I don't. But that's another story. But overall, it's so god darn good to be back here and to make music, and the fact that I come back after so long and to see that the number of subscribers has not gone down, it really warms my heart because I want to say this right now to anybody that comes into this channel. You are not obligated to subscribe. You're not obligated to like. You're not obligated to watch any of my content. Here, if you join this family, if you join this channel, it's all love and warm hugs and warm welcoming to all those who come. Because I believe in treating others how you wish to be treated. And if you treat people with respect, respect will come your way, So that's what I firmly believe. I believe that all the good and all the bad that you do in your life always finds a way back. So I do my best each and every day to give blessings to those who look for blessings and, look to give my absolute best at everything that I can do. Although, let's face it, I've been MIA for a long time. So some of you who've been in this channel probably might be wondering, what the hell took you so long to come back? So we're going to get to that first question. Even though I know nobody asked, but I'm pretty sure that some of you were probably wondering. So why did it take me so long? Honestly, my life has been nothing but one hell of a roller coaster. Some of you may not, some of you that are really, really close to me know this. Some of y'all who are newcomers or who've been supporting this channel and have only known me for just, the artistics. I happen to struggle with depression. I happen to struggle with anxiety. And so oftentimes to launch new content when I am at those low points in my life is difficult. Plus, aside from that, I'm not one of those producers that can just make a beat for the sake of making a beat. I believe in staying real and staying true to the craft, because if you cannot project that element of real when you're making a song and you're just doing it for the sake of being trending, you're not going to have the same impact. A lot of artists do this, that they want to launch a song just because they see other artists doing it. And don't get me wrong, I hear the music. I hear a lot of the craft that a lot of these artists are putting out, and it's amazing. It sounds great. It sounds beautiful. But the reason it sounds the way that it does is because these people take their time. They don't just make the song. They take their time to, give that element of realism to the beat and to stay true to the craft so that they can release a beautiful piece, a beautiful masterpiece that people could relate to. And that's the kind of artist that I seek to be for each and every one of you, because I'm not looking to just, talk about money or talk about fame or talk about sex or talk about eating ass or anything of the kind, because there are so many people that are already doing it. There are so many people that are already doing it. So I feel like I don't need to play part of the system. I want to build my own system. I want to build something that it's mine and that I know it's mine and that I can share it with the world. And it is something that, people could relate to. As you guys may or may not know, we live in a world where mental health awareness isn't stressed enough. And as somebody who struggles with mental health, I believe that it's my sole purpose to give light to this situation, because there are so many people who struggle with this, who might, feel as I do, who might be struggling as I do, or as some of you guys might do, because you never know who's going through what. Oftentimes you'll see somebody, you ask them if they're okay, and oftentimes they'll give you the response of, I'm all right, I'm good. And, or it's either that or they will flash a smile at you just because they don't want for you and the people that they love to concern themselves. They don't want to be a burden or a bother to people. That's why a lot of times people with mental health don't express themselves enough, is because of the fear of being a burden or a bother. And I'm no different. I'm literally like that myself. I don't talk a lot about my problems. I don't really go around on the media to showcase how I've been feeling, how things been, because I want to keep business business and professional. But one thing that I also have been beginning to understand is, if I am gonna call you guys my family over calling you guys my fans, I feel that you all, even when I know it ain't it ain't a necessity for me to know what I do, or for me to know what you do. It's not a necessity, it's a privilege to know. And I recognize that. But yet, out of the kindness of my heart, I say, you know what? I want to keep them in the loop. I want to tell them what's going on. I want to tell them that I've been having my ups, I've been having my downs. Things been great, things been bad. Well, it's been a bit of a regular thing. For some of y'all that may or may not know, I went onto my gaming channel and I posted that I went on vacation. I got to see Puerto Rico again. I went to see my family there, and it was amazing. It was beautiful. It was refreshing. And for somebody that for a long time since living here in Florida has been struggling with depression and been feeling lonely, even though I have a great family, you know, I struggle. I seriously struggle. And it is very difficult sometimes to find happiness in the midst of struggle. Sometimes it's hard to hold on to your faith in the midst of chaos, because we're only human. It's in our DNA. We're only human. We are going to be happy some days. We're going to be sad some days. And that's okay. It's okay to say you're sad. It's okay to say you're happy. It's okay to be vulnerable with somebody. And if you need to cry, cry. It doesn't make you less of a man. It doesn't make you less of a woman. There's a reason why so many people stress that if you need the help, go get it. Go get it. Because I'm not gonna lie, depression is a fight that might feel impossible for a lot of us. But I'm here to tell you, the fight is worth it. You are worth it. And don't let anybody to tell you differently. Crying does not make you weak. It takes courage, it takes strength to show that vulnerability deep within your heart and soul to somebody that you know. Even with your own family, it takes courage. And a lot of people say, oh, no, it doesn't, because they're family. No. There are certain things that not every single member in your family is gonna know, let alone has to know. When you grow to be an adult, you get to decide, who do I want to bring into my life? Who do I want to keep out? And at the end of the day, not a single soul can get mad at you for stating, oh, you're welcome to come. Oh, you're not. Because when you see the intent on a person, good or bad, You have the right to decide. You have the right to establish boundaries in your life. Because if you are too nice, you become a doormat. If you're too much of a jerk, you're not going to have anybody with you, not even family. A lot of people believe that because we're flesh, because, you are flesh and blood to somebody within your family, that alone is family. No. Let me remind you that just means you're a relative. What makes a family is love. When somebody loves you, not because you're flesh and blood, not because they came out of somebody's womb, and they treat you with respect. They give you that unconditional love. They clothe you, they feed you, and they do these things out of love rather than because, oh, I had to do it. No. Love makes families. Blood only makes relatives. And so I have that. I'm very blessed by the good grace of God to have a family like that. Yes, all of us see the world a different way, but that's called being human. There are those who religiously stand on one branch or the other. There are those who are into politics and stand on one branch and others on the other. And that's fine. That is a-okay. One thing I will always say, it is okay to have your opinion. Just don't force it onto other people. Live and let live. It's okay to agree to disagree. Like, there are so many people that seem to forget that it's okay for you to have your own opinion, to agree and disagree. It's okay for that to happen. A lot of people think that, it is something that you're not allowed to do. Yes, you are allowed to do it. And when you do it, I can promise you this, it will be something that, every single soul will come to see, and they will grow into either number one, if that person exercises tolerance, exercises patience, they will grow to see your opinion as nothing more than information. Heck, might even learn something new. There are other times that oftentimes people will just simply disagree or agree, and that's fine. As long as you're not enforcing or forcing your opinion onto somebody, or forcing somebody to be the same religion as you are. As long as that doesn't happen, there's no problem. There's no damage, no harm done. You're free to be human. You are free to be human. And I say this because, oftentimes it's so easy to forget. We bleed the same blood color. We might be from different backgrounds, but the blood color is the same. And at the end of the day, when these bodies go into the grave and we are nothing but bone, it's just going to be the same. Flesh and bone. That it may be a different color? Absolutely. That body might have a different conscience, a different opinion, a different way of thinking? Absolutely. No one is made the same. And that is fine. Now, in my case, I took a bit of a social media break as well. I kind of uninstalled my Facebook. I uninstalled my Instagram. I even uninstalled Threads because I just wanted to get away from all the whole concept of the politics, and even, as you all are very well aware, the whole Charlie Kirk incident, the whole shooting. I myself, for one, don't watch the news for this specific reason. It's only good for one thing: making your head spin, stressing you out, and eventually, when you exercise your opinion, there are so many in this world today that they are so stressed with the situation that tolerance goes out the window. Being human goes out the window. Everybody chooses their own side and stands in the side with passion and with pride, which is to be admired. Just don't forget you're human. And don't forget that the other person on the other end is also human. and that he's not obligated to share your same opinion, that it is not obligated to stand in the same side as you. Just like you're not obligated to stand on his side or to listen to him. You have a choice. There is always a choice, and I would dare anybody to say otherwise. There's always a choice. Because if there wasn't always a choice, there wouldn't be free will. They just wouldn't. So, where did I left off? Long story short, after the social media cleanse, I've been cruising on my e-scooter. As of now, I own 2 electric scooters, which is amazing. And I am very thankful for that. Very blessed for that. It's been fun. It's been amazing. It's been great. I've been able to travel around my neighborhood. Sometimes I like to ride in the day. Sometimes I like to ride at night. I originally didn't ride at night because, I was always concerned with my safety. But, I see better at night. Like somebody like myself that doesn't have as much sight in the day because of light sensitivity. At night, for me, I feel like it's absolutely perfect because I see everything. Absolutely everything. While everybody else would be like, I can't see Jack. I would be able to just see everything. I would even be able to see the stars in the sky. But at daytime, it's like sunglasses in hand, sunscreen at all times. It's like at night, I don't have to concern myself with that. I'm not gonna be moonburned. imagine, imagine if that were possible. Oh, nobody would go out. But no. So the second reason I haven't been around is because my gaming channel. Some of you might know this and some of you might not. To all the newcomers, I also have a gaming channel. The second channel here on YouTube that I have is called Phoenix Plays, and I did an amazing series playing the game of Dead Space. I think it might have been the remake for PlayStation 5, and I played it, and it was amazing. I was hooked to the game by a long shot. So much, in fact, I beat the game twice. When I first wanted to start up the series, it went by a different name. It was called Blood Path to Redemption. But I got so carried away that I would forget to record some of these episodes. And long and behold, I wind up beating the game and I didn't record a lot of the episodes. So I wind up beating the game a second time, and this time I was able to put in all of the episodes of the story of Dead Space, which is amazing. Like that game is incredible. It is unbelievable. The voice actor who portrayed it as Isaac, Gunnar Wright, he did an amazing job, and the other actors as well, they did incredible. Like that game is, my God, that game, in my opinion, I feel like it should be game of the year if it isn't already. Another thing is I've been kind of gaming with my friends, Denny and of course Thomas. Every once in a while we play Battlefield 2042. Thomas plays it on his PC. My friend Denny, he plays it on his PlayStation 5. Another thing that I've also been kind of hooked on is Helldivers 2 and No Man's Sky, especially with the Voyage update that they did. Like, just when I thought they couldn't outdo themselves with the game, they come in and put in that you can now create your own custom made starship, which in the game is called a Corvette. Which is kind of funny that they are calling it a Corvette because that's a car. But nevertheless, I think it's awesome. I legit created two custom made Corvettes, and one is kind of like in the shape of an airplane, and then the other one is like a standard ship. And I've kind of been hooked on that. Hopefully, if I don't lose track, I might shoot some recordings of myself playing the game on my gaming channel, and maybe try to balance up, also making more music over here for you guys, especially since I've been away for a long time. I've been away from my mental health as well, and it was very much needed. And it's been great. It's been great, from the vacation to Puerto Rico, from the start of my gaming channel all the way to now, to launching this new song Imprisonment with Raptor. It's been incredible. Like, this man Thomas, he is the real deal when it comes to the electric guitar. Like, this guy, he plays so darn well. It's unbelievable. And if you want to see more of the songs that myself and him and I did, you could check out the songs Irate, Crash and Burn, and Imprisonment, which is this one is the newest that just launched today. And then the next one that you could also check out is Hold On, Coming Home, and of course Worth Something. I almost forgot about that one, and that one is that song is another one of my favorites. Now, to talk about Imprisonment, now that I've explained why I've been gone for so long, the song Imprisonment came to be out of, again, me being in those lows of lows, with mental health. And as I was in those lowest of lows in my life, I was contemplating, how things were before I was exposed to these energies that weren't all so welcoming. I was exposed to this sadness and depression, as I lost so many people along the way, which unfortunately a lot of the times we believe that the list will never get shorter, especially when we're kids. We believe that we're going to have the people we love for a lifetime. They'll stay with us forever. But it's not true, unfortunately. They leave our world, and their bodies are let to rot in the embrace of Mother Earth. Heck, this scripture says it better. From the dust we came, and to the dust we shall return. That's one of my favorite scriptures in the Bible. And, as I was in those low lows in my life, I was contemplating a fainted memory of when I was little. I was always complaining about how my mom was so overprotective to me, how she would never let me do anything, how I was barely ever allowed to so much as go outside. And I had this fainted memory of myself, and I remember saying this as crystal clear: I cannot wait to be an adult so that I can do whatever I want. And let me tell you, that is the biggest regret that I have in my life, was to wish I was an adult. The biggest regret. Because I didn't realize at that age how easy I had it. You could have basically say, in a kid mentality, that you were rich. You wouldn't have to worry about paying a single dime for nothing. If you liked a certain clothes and your mom or your dad saw it, they would buy it for you. If you wanted candy, they would buy you candy. If you wanted to go to the beach on the days that they could take you, they would take you to the beach. If you wanted to go to the theme parks, they would take you to the theme parks when it was possible, when it was doable. And I remember those memories. And one of the lines in the song that, hits so deep for me, because I've said this before. I look back now, me as an adult, and I look back to when I was a little boy, and I thought of myself, damn, I used to be so happy. So happy. Now I'm empty. I used to be so fucking happy. So happy. Now I'm angry. And, that's how it started at first, believe it or not. It started with just those lines. It started with that. And from that point on, everything else was easy. It was literally like a game of connect the dots. All I would do is just go from there and just connect everything with the exact emotion I projected at first by saying those lines. And then everything else was said and done very easily. The song took a few months for us to, get it done and to, of course, get ourselves in the motivation, because I'm not the only one who struggles with mental health. A lot of my people in my soul family struggle with this as well. We're not always gonna have those good days. We're gonna have good days and bad days, and them just like me. This is why we are soul family. Them just like me. They're not the kind of people to make music for the sake of making music, for the sake of being trendy, for the sake of competing with anybody. The only competition that we have is ourselves. And that's the only competition we want, is to be better than who we were yesterday, to be better artists than we were yesterday. We don't seek to compete with the world. We just want to compete with ourselves and have a good time and, talk about life, talk about mental health, talk about what's going on with our world and, be able to bring smiles onto people's faces, to be able to bring about that restoration of hope to somebody who hasn't been introduced to it for a long time. Because it's so easy. It's so easy to forget the moments of happiness in your life when you're depressed and you're lonely. Oftentimes we tell ourselves, I will never be out of this. I will never find the love of my life. I will never have the luxuries that everybody else has. I'm gonna be single forever. I'm worthless. I'm spineless. I'm always afraid. I'm always alone, even when I have my family. And it's so easy to just give in into those intrusive thoughts. And it's so easy to feel imprisoned in your own mind. And that's the sole reason imprisonment came to be. Is I felt imprisoned in my own mind. I felt imprisoned in my head. I felt imprisoned in my body. Because as somebody who struggles with depression, my own disability happens to be one of the causes of why I am depressed. People like myself are not socially accepted enough. Oftentimes, somebody with albinism would get these ugly stares by every single solitary person or the majority of people. Because I'm not going to say that everybody's like that, because I've encountered really good people in this world who are still doing their best to show others that kindness isn't dead, that unconditional love isn't dead, that good people aren't dead. We're still living. But what's happening is we are also looking out for our own light. Because what good will it be for us to continue giving and giving and giving if we cannot give to ourselves? You can't be a superhero all the time. The first person you gotta save is you. The first light you gotta keep bright is yours. You are not all obligations to nobody, lest it's to increase your own light and to increase its brightness. That is the only thing you're obligated to do. Nothing more, nothing less. And that's one of the things. I wanted to write that song of imprisonment because of that. I wanted to spread that awareness of, when you see somebody that doesn't say much and that will tell you that they're okay or that they're all right, it isn't always the case. People feel imprisoned. So oftentimes they don't feel like they can have the courage to come to somebody and tell them about what is really going on behind the scenes, because oftentimes they just, again, that's the thing about depression, it creates such a barrier. It creates such a barrier in all sides and in all corners, that to simply say something as, I'm sad, I'm not having the best of days, doesn't come easy for everybody. I know for a fact it doesn't come easy for me to just say I'm not okay. That alone, and other things, is asking for help. I feel like such a damn burden when I ask for help. Because as somebody who is disabled, and this isn't not anything personal to anybody who offers the help, because it has nothing to do with the people who offer the help. It's just simply the fact that from the day I matured and reached, the age of 18, I told myself I would not let my disability stop me. I will not let it define me. I'm gonna go and do my own thing. I'm gonna go make music. I'm gonna make my dreams come true. I'm gonna inspire people. And to everybody else that looks at me wrong or stares at me because I am this way, to hell with it. I'm still gonna do it, because the reason they do it is because they want you to second guess yourself. They want you to not do it. They want to hold you back because they fear what they cannot understand. And that's the biggest thing that's happening around our world. Our world is governed by fear. See, guys like President Trump, they're nothing more than pawns in the game, in this game of fear. The president is nothing more than just the puppet of fear. And fear itself is the puppet master, moving all of these people around, giving them, these little seeds of ideas of how to, quote unquote, make America great again. But the majority of these decisions being made, they don't really come from an honest heart. They come out of fear. Because they fear, what if somebody that was from the lower class were to make a bigger difference than somebody in a higher class? And people fear that because they don't understand. They are not capable of comprehending that majority of times, people who are in the low or middle class can make as much a difference as somebody within the higher class. And that's why the rich stay rich and the poor stay poor. But in the end, we all have that power to make changes in our life. It's just a matter of embracing it and say to yourself, I'm gonna take on the challenges and I'm gonna carry on with my life, and I am going to live. I'm gonna say this because this is a quote I feel heavily in my heart to say. I feel compelled by the Holy Ghost to say this. It is easy to be comfortable simply being comfortable. It is harder to grow comfortable being uncomfortable. Because that's what success is. Success is not measured by how comfortable it is, but rather how well can you grow being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Because success isn't something that is like a one-time deal. It's not like God gives you one blessing and that is all there is. God wants to bless you even more each and every day. But to receive these blessings, you got to grow into them. And that's why there are so many challenges into what we seek to do in the grand plan of our own life. Without pressure, you can't make diamonds. That pressure that oftentimes we feel in our lives is meant to be there. It's there to make you strong. In my song, Worth Something, I couldn't said it better. Going through the pressure, we become the diamonds we're meant to be. We're worth more than a treasure. We are more than what they see. Even through doubt, we'll make it out. It's just a matter of reminding yourself each and every day that in spite of the doubt, in spite of the fear, you just gotta look at it and say, hey, I know you're there. I know you see what I'm about to do. However, just want to give you the heads up. Just because you're here doesn't mean I have to partake or participate on what you seek to offer. Because the moment that you acknowledge that your fears and your thoughts are there but have no power over you, fear disappears. Doubt becomes assurance. Doubt becomes certainty. Because the moment you finally realize that you yourself are not your thoughts, you have just become a free man or a free woman of your own ego mind. You no longer are in imprisonment. From that point on, you no longer are the prisoner, you become the warden of all those thoughts. You become the warden of fear, and fear becomes your prisoner. You become the warden of doubt, and doubt becomes the prisoner. And you no longer are in imprisonment. You no longer are in that cage. Because you finally have taken on something that is just yours. And that is control. You're taking control over the ego mind, and you've taken control over you in general. And you're no longer living as the main character in the story. You're living as the architect. Because all of us are architects. You, whoever you are behind this screen, you are an architect. You were never made the character in this story. You are the architect of it. You are the master of your own body. You are the master of your own life. You're the master of your own ego mind. And when you realize that, the prisoner no longer is the prisoner. The prisoner is the warden. And your thoughts become the prisoners. Because they can no longer control you. They can no longer tie you up and say, nope, you're not gonna do this because we're gonna be afraid right now. No, you're not gonna apply for that job because we're gonna put in that doubt and say, oh, I don't think you should. Maybe I'm not qualified enough for it. You are. You are. You just got to trust what you put in on your resume and go into that job, show off what you got, be professional, and win. Because you're going to win. At the end of the day, even our own failures is progress. So don't be afraid to fail. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Just remember that you are not your own thoughts. You're not your own thoughts. You are the architect, not the character. You are the master You're the warned of your thoughts, not the prisoner of your thoughts. And this type of teaching takes time to learn. Not even me who says all of these things, not even me who is presenting all of these things, comes easy for me to learn. Even to this day, it's taken me a long time to enter into realization that when oftentimes bad things come into my life, I need to realize I'm not my thoughts. Sometimes you gotta greet tragedy like it's your old friend. Just be like, hey, come on over. Come on in. I know you're there. Let's have a chat. And right at that point, you look at your tragedy and you tell it like this. I'm going to put this to you very simple. You're here simply because you're meant to be here. But don't get it twisted. I don't need to partake on what you're about to do. I'm going to be better than you. I'm going to surpass you. I'm going to find peace in the process. And I'm going to move forward. And you, nor doubt, nor fear, can stop me from being my best self. And that's kind of the message I want to send across, aside from, feeling imprisoned behind this song of imprisonment. I want to send a message of those who are seeking help, get the help. And remember that you are the architect of your story. Most importantly. Because you have as much right to choose the kind of person you want to be as all the other people around the world. Nobody can take away your own autonomy. And anybody that says they can, they're just lying. They're just doing it to scare you. You shouldn't be afraid. Because at the end of the day, you get to choose. You've always been able to choose. Just a matter of making the choice. And that takes time. Everything I'm telling you guys about making a decision, this doesn't happen. This doesn't need to happen right now. Only you and you alone will know when the timing is right. This is nothing more than information. This is just me sharing my wisdom, giving you my thanks for the love and the support. And of course, just want to say this right now, because you never know what might happen. To all those who have been in this channel for such a long time, thank you for staying by me even when I myself wasn't here. It means so darn much to me, the fact that you all stayed. And I will never forget it, nor will ever forget it. And to all the newcomers, if you desire to be a part of this channel and you desire to join our family, welcome. And I truly hope that you enjoy your stay. But should you desire to leave, that is also your choice. Just know that if you come with good intentions, the doors of this family to our home here in this channel, they're open for you. Because good things come to those who seek them. And who am I to deny love to people who give it freely? Who am I to say, oh, you're not fit on my love because you look a certain way? Or because you choose a certain pronoun that doesn't connect with what I believe? Or because you are standing in this political branch or in this religious branch? No. We should all be able to love one another as we are. If you decide to make changes in your life, let it be not because of somebody telling you or persuading you. Let it be because it is your own decision and you felt it in your heart that it was right to do, that it was the right time to do it. I will leave you with that. Just wanted to say again, thank you for staying and being a part of this channel. I will do my absolute best to get back into this channel and give it a bit more, show it more love and, be able to make more music, things like that. I have another song that is incoming that I did with my soul brothers, Denny and Thomas. And, we are looking to get back on that. So don't know when it'll be released. All that I can tell you right now is that we've been working. We've been doing our very best to continue to launch these newer songs. So more likely than not, you'll be hearing from us a little more often. You may never know. But once again, thank you all for all those who stayed, and be blessed, and hope that you enjoy the song Imprisonment. And should you desire to share it with other people, you're more than welcome to do it. You don't need to ask for my permission. Just figure to give you guys the heads up that if you wanted to do it, that you wanted to share it with somebody, and you wanted to introduce them to my music, and of course to myself, send them some of my material. And if they like it, well, let it be their choice to come in and subscribe. But if they don't, well, just see it as you introduced that to them and they had a different opinion. There's nothing wrong with that. I will see you guys another time, and thank you all so much for all of your love and all of your patience. Stay blessed.